Hatchet Man, what do you have for everybody today?
Yeah, we have been talking a lot of quarterback here, but let's talk a running back here, specifically Saquon Barkley, because ESPN is reporting that the Giants running back, he does not plan to sign his franchise tender before the team's upcoming offseason workout program. There's multiple other things coming out. Saquon was seen working out with teammates in Arizona, Daniel Jones, Darren Waller. But then there's a Fox Sports report that says the Giants don't have much of an interest in signing Saquon to a long-term deal. So he doesn't want to sign the franchise tender right now. They have no interest in signing to a long-term deal. How does this end? Does he end up just signing in the end in August and showing up?
That's it.
Okay.
I mean, I told you I didn't want him. I would have let him go to free agency. I would have been happy to take a compensatory pick next year. I had no interest in it. Why, David?
We don't pay running backs.
So now you're stuck with a guy who's unhappy, wants money you don't want to give him. You got to pay him 10 point something or whatever it is this year. I did not like the Giants offseason very much. I think they are a prime candidate to take a massive step backward this year.
I mean, they overachieved. I love the conflict it puts you in as a Giants fan, because this is the running back who wants to get paid, and your team has to navigate it.
It's not navigate. There's nothing to navigate. The answer is no.
If he doesn't show up, you're going to be worse.
No, I wouldn't have given him.
I wouldn't either, but I love that he's put your team in this position. He's not wrong to seek out as much money as he can get long-term because of what that position is.
Why do we invite this guy here? I mean, what a ball breaker. So basically you're saying I enjoy the fact that your team...
At the center of this.
Yeah, thank you.
It's karmic energy.
It's such a blessing.
There's another option being floated about regarding Aaron Rodgers here.
Oh, great.
From his own teammate, David Bakhtiari. And I want to know if you think this is a realistic option. Bakhtiari floated the idea that the Packers could choose to pay Aaron Rodgers to not play if the Jets won't give the Packers what they want. Now, every team, of course, wants in return the value they think for a player. If they don't get it, is that an option realistically? Pay him and don't play him.
Well, no. I floated this a couple weeks ago, that if the Pack don't get what they want, they don't care. They'll let Aaron Rodgers rot. They're stuck with the money anyways, whether they keep him or trade him. So, yeah, it's plausible. The Jets want to guarantee that if this guy flakes out and moves to the mountains to smoke peyote with goats, that they get assurances via draft picks. And the Packers want to be assured that if the guy pivots, cares about football, and plays 3 more years, they get assurances. You're never going to get a deal done that way. So, yeah, David, if I'm the Pack, I think it's become personal. It's very plausible.
It's absolutely personal. Now, the question is, who has the leverage in all this?
I think the Packers do.
And I think the Jets do.
Okay, why?
You're going to get nothing for Aaron Rodgers? You're going to let him... You can't make any moves in the free agency or the draft.
But that's already done.
I know, but you can't operate an organization with him holding you hostage, not just this year, but long term. And you're going to get nothing for him? You're going to sit him on the bench and get nothing, lose games, and get no draft capital? You're going to
They're
eventually...
already in that spot.
They haven't decided they're benching him, have they?
Yes.
I think they have.
They have.
Well, they have no choice because they're over a barrel. The Jets can pivot to a different quarterback. They're not screwed.
So Eddie,
really?
Gloves?
Yeah. Who exactly? Who are they pivoting to? Sprinkles the postman?
Lamar
You're not going to like the name, but yeah.
Now.
Younger?
No, hold on, time out. See, if I were doing radio in New York, I'd be pushing Lamar Jackson. I would never mess with this 40-year-old hippie. I'd say, go get Lamar. Let's win the back page of the New York Post. Let's get the sizzle going.
Right, but that's what the Jets can do. They can say, go bury yourself, Green Bay.
There
you
you
have a lovely time. You want some capital? There's only one place Aaron's going to agree to a trade to. It's us. When you're ready to take our offer, pick up the phone.
And meanwhile, when Lamar goes back to Baltimore with his tail between his legs, the Jets will be busy starting Zach Wilson. They're a match made in heaven. I love this. See, this warms my heart. All right. What's next?
So let's have this conversation about quarterbacks here, because the Colts, they spoke today. They had their pre-draft press conference here talking to the media. And it says the Colts plan to address the QB in the draft, but there's no internal consensus on the pick. So they have no idea right now, that's what they're saying, whether they love Anthony Richardson or Will Levis, which Will Levis is kind of all over the board when it comes to the draft. But they somehow, some way still mention, yes, they're not in. They're going to not be in on Lamar Jackson.
Yep.
Now, it's one thing to kind of hint at this, but they actually mention his name in a press conference.
Yep.
Another team mentioning a player's name. So does that mean they're in on Lamar Jackson?
No.
Wow.
No. I've never in the history of the NFL, in my 42 years on this planet and 20 doing this job, never have I seen teams run to the podium to tell you they're not interested in a 26-year-old former league MVP who might be on the market. But teams ran to say, not us. Never seen it. Ever.
The one that gets me is Atlanta. Yeah, we're cool with Desmond Ridder.
Isn't it crazy?
What?
It's crazy.
See, but here's why I asked that question, though. It's because no one loves Will Levis. Honestly, and if Richardson goes before and
you're
3.
saying that. You're saying that.
I am.
Someone does. And it only takes one to love you.
And isn't Irsay kind of the guy who just goes rogue renegade and does what he wants?
Yes.
Isn't he the Will Levis guy on paper?
Well, and it's crazy. And that's how he's all over the board because the Bucks had him in, Will Levis in for a visit. They're at what, 8 and 20?
Yeah, late teens.
I just can't figure out the mayo in the coffee.
Or the rotten banana?
That one just felt like a stunt. The mayo in the coffee, like, is that a thing?
For him it is.
Ugh.
Not for the rest of us.
That's
So I went back to look at a few things, trying to find some notes here when it comes to the NFL. And a note here, an interesting scenario that Bill Barnwell suggested. And this was regarding a trade with the Cowboys.
Oh, let me hear this.
Veteran running backs, including Derrick Henry, and Delvin Cook, could wind up being released and end up in Dallas, he says. This was a week ago.
Doesn't surprise me.
Wow, so it doesn't surprise. I mean,
no, it doesn't.
Tony Pollard is the guy, though.
He's not going to be an every down guy for them.
He's not. And what do the Cowboys want more than anything? Star power, man. Mm-hmm. Star power. So nothing surprises me. I don't know what grip they have over these players, where every player wants to go to Dallas to not win.
It's the star.
Oh, please.
You want to know who I think they could target? Bijan Robinson. They've done the first-round running back before. Local guy. Jerry wants to win the press conference.
Wow.
You're looking for a fit. Bijan to Dallas.
Bijan to Dallas.
I mean, I'd love it. It's root for radio. I love that stuff.
And then finally, let's get to this here because we didn't really get to address this yesterday, the genius that is going on at USC, and that is bringing in Cliff Kingsbury.
Go ahead.
I didn't even see this. This is a thing?
Yeah, Cliff Kingsbury is coming in to work with quarterback.
Feels like it makes all the sense in the world, right?
Yeah, he's doing the Nick Saban rehab program where you just come in, take a year. You know the best part? Cardinals are footing the bill.
Yes, they are. I was going to say that part, yes.
It's kind of like the Lions and Patricia.
Well,
because he doesn't have an actual coordinator or QB coach.
He's not QB whisperer on the door?
Nah. He's assistant to the assistant traveling GM. But it's brilliant. I wish our schools here would do more of it, where you look specifically to my school. Like, can we just bring in somebody somewhere to talk about extra points or field goals? Maybe. I think it's great. And look, Kingsbury's not a pro coach. It's clear it didn't work. I wished it did. But I have no issue with this guy getting another shot in college. Pac-12, little 11 p.m. start.
Go ahead, Cookies.
One quick note on that. USC schedule, backloaded. I know nobody has looked this far ahead. They're going to play tough November games. If you're looking for a scapegoat when they don't win.
Cliff Kingsbury.
There you go. It's a match made in heaven.
Radioactive. Once you get past week 8, look out. Look out.
That is
terrible at Texas Tech in the late stages in bowl games. Terrible in Arizona. He may as well go back to Thailand after week 8.
Can I bet Notre Dame now, or do I have to wait until we'll figure it out on Cash the Ticket?
Is that in South Bend this year?
I know it's later in the year.
Oh, boy.
It's probably in South Bend this year.
Coming up on Cash the Ticket in 4 months. 5 months.
That's
football today.